to achieve the best possible outcomes for our country. I was invited here actually to address 2 questions, and the first question has been asked, so I will straight away go to address the question that the Senator for Meru County has asked. That is question number 015, asking me to explain the following: that what are the reasons for the inordinate delay in the implementation of the resolution of the Senate of 18th October 2018 and the subsequent recommendations of the Interagency Task Force on payment of the honorarium and monthly pension to former councillors, despite the undertaking granted by the National Treasury via letter dated 28th September 2021 and addressed to the Senate that it would factor the payments in the following year's financial budget of 2022-23. Number B was for me to provide the status update on the establishment of the requisite legal and policy instruments to authorize, process, and facilitate payments, and if not, state the reasons for such delay and whether the eligible former councillors have been enrolled in the Inua Jamii program. Number C, which is the last one, was when will the former councillors receive their full gratuity payments, and could my office state the measures put in place to ensure that for those who are deceased, the rightful beneficiaries are identified. So, Mr. Speaker, I would like to respond to the questions raised by the Senator for Meru County regarding the payment of honoraria and monthly pensions to former councillors as follows. Number 1, regarding reasons for the delay in the implementation of the Senate resolution and task force recommendations. Mr. Speaker, the delay is in implementing the Senate resolution of 18th October 2018 and the recommendations of the Interagency Task Force on the payment of honoraria and pensions to former councillors has been primarily due to legal constraints. The Attorney General, who is the official government advisor on legal matters, in a legal opinion dated 8th May 2023, advised that there was no legal basis to support the proposed one-off honoraria payment of Kenya shillings 200,000 to former councillors who served for less than 20 years. The opinion also referenced circular number 13894, issued by the then Ministry of Local Government, which limited pension or gratuity payments to councillors who had served continuously for 20 years or more as of 13th December 1993. Furthermore, the legal advisory highlighted the absence of a structured formula to determine benefits, given that councillors were not salaried or were not being paid salaries, but received allowances that varied across different regions. Consequently, implementing the proposed payment of 2,383,800,000 to about 11,919 former councillors lacks the necessary legal and policy foundation. The second question was the status of legal and policy instruments to authorize and facilitate the payments. Mr. Speaker, given the legal constraints that I've just mentioned, the National Treasury has considered an alternative approach through the Inua Jamii program, which is designed as a social protection initiative for elderly citizens. Former councillors who meet the eligibility criteria form part of the persons for inclusion in the program. The State Department for Social Protection, in collaboration with the relevant government agencies, including the National Treasury, has been verifying eligible registrants into the program. We shall collaborate with the State Department for Social Protection to identify the number of former councillors already enrolled and facilitating the registration of those who have not yet been enrolled. In addition, the National Retirement Benefits Policy, which was approved by the Cabinet in October 2023, also aims to provide a harmonized framework for administering retirement benefits across all sectors. This policy will guide future considerations on the retirement welfare of various categories of public service workers, including former councillors, by ensuring a structured and legally sound approach to retirement benefits. To further strengthen the legal framework, the government established a multi-agency committee on 17 September 2024 to review and align public service pension schemes with the Constitution of Kenya 2010. This committee is expected to provide recommendations on how best to address pension coverage for different categories of public service workers in a sustainable and legally compliant manner. On timelines for full gratuity payments and measures for identifying beneficiaries of deceased councillors, Mr. Speaker, in light of the legal challenges, the National Treasury will engage the Office of the Auditor General to conduct a forensic audit of the 328 former councillors who were initially identified as eligible for benefits. This audit will verify those who are still alive and identify rightful beneficiaries for those who are deceased. The findings of this audit will guide the next course of action in ensuring that only eligible former councillors or their rightful beneficiaries are considered under existing government social protection mechanisms. Mr. Speaker, the government remains committed to addressing the welfare of former councillors within the confines of the law and available resources. While the initial recommendations of the Senate and Task Force lacked legal backing, the alternative approach through Inua Jamii, coupled with the broader national retirement benefits policy, seeks to provide sustainable and legally sound interventions for retired public servants. I submit.
Yes, Senator Kathuri, you have any supplementary question?
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much indeed. You know, Honorable Speaker, this is a matter of national interest. And if you can indulge us, maybe you can give us a bit of time to ventilate on this matter, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this matter was canvassed during the last Senate. And I'm happy that the member who raised that matter is in this House. There is for the Senate. Honorable Minority Leader. Honorable Minority Leader.